Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. In today's video, we'll be discussing Dayot Upamecano potentially joining Paris Saint Germain. And as you have known, I've been pushing for the Dayot Upamecano transfer for a very long time. I wanted him last summer, even ahead of Ilya Zabarny. Upamecano only had 1 year left on his contract last summer, and I thought, this is the moment to push him for Dayot Upamecano before he maybe extends or starts negotiating with other clubs. But we have some great news regarding Paris Saint Germain's interest in Dayot Upamecano, and even some words from Dayot Upamecano himself as he was interviewed at the French national team setup. So, first report here from Fabrizio Romano. Everything is perfectly open for Upamecano's future. Paris Saint Germain, Real Madrid, and English clubs are interested. Paris Saint Germain, Real Madrid, and English clubs are interested in Dayot Upamecano. Upamecano has given no verbal agreement with Real Madrid. This is obviously to contradict the report from Santi. Santi reported before that Upamecano is close to reaching a verbal agreement with Real Madrid. But he said close. Some Madrid reporters said he has reached an agreement when Santi only said he was close. The thing is, though, you shouldn't take Fabrizio Romano sometimes too seriously, because it may be true and Fabrizio just doesn't know about it, because Santi, as we saw, Santi was the first person to exclusively say that Kylian Mbappe had verbally agreed to join Madrid in what, January? Maybe a month before David Ornstein dropped the Bombastico. So honestly, I don't take that too seriously. Madrid could have a verbal agreement with Upamecano already, as Santi has great connections with the French player's agents. Bayern is still fighting to extend his contract. They will soon meet with his agent to continue discussions on the details of his new contract. The main reason Dayot Upamecano still hasn't extended at Bayern Munich, he's obviously seen as a very important and crucial player, always starting games. He's part of that four most important players, you could say, like Kimmich, Kane, Upamecano, Ulisse Musiala, I guess 5 players then. So they see him as very important. But the main obstacle for Upamecano to stay at Bayern Munich is the wage, is the money. Upamecano saw Musiala get an extension, he saw Neuer get an extension, he saw Kimmich get an extension, he saw all of these players get extensions and a huge wage boost. And Upamecano's like, I'm one of the most important players in this Bayern Munich team. I'm one of the longest serving players in this Bayern Munich team. Give me my money. And Bayern Munich are like, we don't want to give you that money. We've already given too much money. I think some at Bayern are even regretting somewhat the wages they gave to the Kimmich, to the Musialas and everything. And Upamecano is like, you don't value me, which is completely understandable from Upamecano's position. He is one of Bayern's best players. He's been very important and crucial for them in the past seasons. And, him not getting that improvement from the Bayern board can definitely be a big reason for him wanting to leave Bayern Munich. They're still a little bit far away. Yes, they will soon have new contacts and all of that. The thing with Upamecano, maybe his head has already turned. Maybe he's already thinking about leaving, because Bayern had at least 2 seasons when Upamecano's contract was running down. They could have given Upamecano what he wanted. Maybe now it's a bit too late. And it's not just about the wage. Dayot Upamecano also wants to insert a release clause into his new Bayern Munich contract, just like Jamal Musiala did, and just like potentially Ulisse did, potentially Harry Kane did. There are some reports that both those 2 players have a release clause. And Upamecano just wants to take more power of his future. And you guys know about my opinion. I don't like the player empowerment in football nowadays when it comes to release clauses, and they want to have full power of their future. I mean, Erling Braut Haaland is maybe the best and perfect example. Went to Salzburg, put in a release clause so that he had power when he wanted to leave for a good amount of price, so they couldn't price him out of a transfer. Dortmund put in a 75 million release clause. City put in a release clause and then extended and still put in another release clause. We at Paris Saint Germain are very fortunate when it comes to release clauses, because release clauses are illegal. You can't have a release clause in Liga. For example, La Liga, it's forced for you. Every single La Liga player has a release clause. So yeah, so Upamecano wants a better wage, similar to the big names at Bayern Munich, because he considers he's one of them, and also wants a release clause, which means he knows he's not going to stay at Bayern until the end of his career. And as we can see, Premier League, Real Madrid and Paris Saint Germain are interested in the French centre-back. Then, this right here. So, Upamecano was asked. Upamecano to PSG at the end of his contract. PSG is a very, very big club. Look at the propping. With a super coach. For now, I'm not thinking about that. I'm focusing on Bayern and the French national team. The season is still long, and I have an agent for that. Honestly, Upamecano is trying to somewhat stay respectful to Bayern. For now, I'm not thinking about that. I'm focusing on Bayern and the French national team. Season is still long, and I have an agent for that. Basically putting the pressure and responsibility for the agent. But I love the propping. Upamecano, obviously, born in Paris, I believe in the same region as Ousmane Dembélé, and has the same agent as Ousmane Dembélé and Moussa Sissoko, who is also the agent of Bradley Barcola and Désiré Doué, even more Paris Saint Germain players. I think this was the previous report we looked at. This was the previous one we looked at. Here's another one. Dayot Upamecano de Parc des Princes, his garden. It's true that my family will be at the stadium. I'm French, but I also feel at home at Bayern Munich in Germany. And then he talked about Zabarne as well. Interesting stuff there. Let's continue here. Confirmation from RMC Sport. PSG remains in the shadows for Upamecano and will position itself more clearly if it does not extend the buy-in. This is great news from the Paris Saint Germain standpoint, because Upamecano, as a player, is a player that we should be going after. And then when you look at the opportunity for him potentially being for free in the summer, yes, we would have to pay maybe 15 to 20 million signing bonus, but it's completely worth it getting Upamecano for 20 million euros. Questioned this Tuesday about the interest from European champion, Upamecano clearly did not close the door. In case of no extension, the Frenchman will have a proposal from Paris Saint Germain on the table. And that is exactly what you want to hear as a Paris Saint Germain supporters. We're already preparing for Upamecano not extending his contract. Obviously, we'll have to wait, until the season is over, basically. But Dayot Upamecano can obviously legally agree terms with Paris Saint Germain after January the 1st, when there's only 6 months left remaining on his contract. Upamecano will also be, with the French setup at the World Cup, with Dembouz, with Désiré Doué, with potentially Warren, Lucas Hernandez, Bradley Barcola, Chevalier in goal as well, and that can have a positive agent kind of effect on getting Upamecano. Another reporter from L'Equipe, there are several sticking points for Upamecano to extend his contract at Bayern. The signing bonus, as we mentioned, a salary agreement. Okay, signing bonus, I didn't mention. Exit clause with fixed amount. It says that Bayern refuses this. So they're very clear. They don't want to extend, and they're still unsure if they want to give him the money that Upamecano wants. Bayern absolutely wants an answer by the end of the winter break. Okay, that's huge. That's huge. So what this basically means, there's no potential of a January exit for Dayot Upamecano, obviously with Bayern Munich, feeling they can, do it all and win the treble this season. PSG must act quickly to outbid the competition in case of non-extension. The discussion will be facilitated with the player's agent, who also manages Barcola, Désiré Doué, and Ousmane Dembélé. Let's see if we have... All right, that is the last report regarding the Upamecano stuff. And yeah, this signing will be absolutely perfect. I have this right here next to me. So this is defensive duels won in Europe sub-5 leagues, and you got William Pacho 93.75, and you got Dayot Upamecano with 88.89. This was a little bit earlier in the season, but you can just see the absolute raw dominance Paris Saint Germain would have if we had William Pacho on that left side, Dayot Upamecano on that right side. Both of them elite ball winners, and the thing with Upamecano as well, he's absolutely elite with the ball as well. If you take a look at a data MB between the two players. Let's see here. Center backs. Oh. Upamecano and Pacho. Let's see the differences here. So, very similar, honestly. Upamecano gives you the carrying and the progressive passes, and that's exactly what you need in a center back. Next to a center back like Pacho, who isn't going to carry the ball that much, who isn't going to progress the ball that much. And these two together would be... this is a potential for one of the best centre-back partnerships ever. They are in great age. Pacho, 24 years of age. Dayot Upamecano, 27 years of age. Basically coming into their... Upamecano in his peak. Pacho's about to come into his peak. Pacho, experience. Upamecano experience as well with the French national team as well. This would be an absolutely superb centre-back partnership. But we have to say this. Paris Saint Germain are not the only club. They're after Dayot Upamecano. As the reports mentioned, the Premier League and Real Madrid. And we know about Real Madrid. We wanted Camavinga, we wanted Tchouameni, we wanted Endrick, we wanted Franco Mastantuono, we wanted Arda Güler. And they all opted to choose Real Madrid. Some of them, their career has gone well. Some of them, it hasn't gone that well. And I hope that Upamecano looks at that. Obviously, Madrid With Alaba set to leave the club, with Rudiger set to leave the club, question marks on, and even Huijsen, the new signing, and Asensio obviously coming through the ranks, they will do absolutely everything for Dayot Upamecano. And from the reports I've seen, they're not as interested in Konate. Their main figurehead at the moment is Dayot Upamecano, so we will have immense pressure from Real Madrid. And once again, this goes back to what I said before. We should have gone in for Upamecano last summer. We could have maybe gotten him for a good amount of price before the competition comes in. But Paris Saint Germain only wants Upamecano in this opportunity sense, so we have to push for it. It's more than just the Upamecano signing. Obviously, the Upamecano signing is the preliminary thing. We want Upamecano with a Paris Saint Germain shirt on him for next season. But the second thing is also finally winning something against Real Madrid in the transfer negotiations. I mean, I'm tired. I'm tired of losing. I mean, they took Mbappe as well. Thank God. Merci, Real Madrid. But Upamecano, we gotta get him. He's French. He has the same agent as Dembele, Desiree Doué, Bradley Barcola. I mean, he shouldn't be going to Real Madrid. So I hope that Paris Saint Germain do everything possible. If he extends a Bayern, I'm not gonna be mad. But if he goes to Real Madrid, I'm going to be mad at the Paris Saint Germain board for not doing his job. Upamecano clearly is opening the door to Paris Saint Germain. There are multiple reasons why this transfer makes sense. I mean, it's basically Lucas Hernandez 2.0. It's a French centre-back, has been in the Bundesliga, has been at Bayern for a while, and is looking for a new adventure. And you saw what he said about Paris Saint Germain, a very, very big club with a powerful coach, a super coach in Luis Enrique. So I hope Upamecano, I think Upamecano will put in all the energy and effort into his last season at FC Bayern München. Honestly, if I had to pick, I don't see him extending. I think it's a little bit too late for Bayern München. The new clubs are already calling for Upamecano, and I think his time at Bayern München is potentially already over, especially with Bayern München still refusing Dayot Upamecano's contract offer, and so on. So please, Paris Saint-Germain, do not bottle this transfer, because Upamecano next season would be an absolutely sensational signing. You got Pacho Beraldo competing for the left centre-back spot, maybe Lucas Hernandez, maybe you get someone else in, and you got Dayot Upamecano and Ilya Zabarny. Insane. That's been it from Boy PSG. Let me know in the comments down below, how would you feel if Paris Saint-Germain signed Dayot Upamecano, and as usual, allez Paris.